Trump posted this June 8th, 4:21 p.m. The corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted, seemingly over the boxes hoax. Even though Joe Biden has 1,800 boxes at the University of Delaware, additional boxes in Chinatown, and even more boxes at the University of Pennsylvania, and documents strewn all over his garage floor where he parks his Corvette, and which is secured by only a garage door that is paper thin and open much of the time. Trump continues in page 2. He says, I have been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I never thought it possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States, who received far more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, and is currently leading by far all candidates, both Democrat and Republican, in polls of the 2024 presidential election. I am an innocent man. He says this is indeed a dark day for the United States of America. We are a country in serious and rapid decline, but together we will make America great again. Very brief statement, and we knew this was coming. I was not expecting it to drop here at the end of the day. I was expecting an early morning indictment tomorrow. But as we see, this looks like it is the Miami case, and Trump is telling us that he's got an appearance on Tuesday at 3 p.m., and we had just finished talking about the discussion between venue. Why would they be in Miami? The documents, of course, were found in Miami, so they can claim that is the nexus of the crime. So Miami will be first, and this is the federal indictment of Donald Trump, which is a big deal. This is a historic moment in America. This has never happened before. This will lead to all sorts of constitutional problems that I don't even think they are prepared for, personally. I'm not sure that they know what they've done. In other words, I think they're treating this as though Trump is just a regular defendant, and that this is going to be received by America as though Trump is just some regular degenerate criminal out there who should be locked up immediately, because that's what their base has said for so long. But this is not that case. This is like dividing by zero in many ways, and it's going to wreck a lot of their legitimacy. I'm sure they have thought through it. I'm sure they're cognizant of what this is going to do. But this is the break glass in case of emergency moment for them, and they have no choice. Joe Biden can't even hardly speak. Trump is crushing in the polls. So the only thing that will save them at this point is to use their levers of power to remove him from the playing field. And if we were outsiders looking in another country and observing this type of behavior, we would be condemning that country for prosecuting their political enemies. We would say, how is this even possible? We have many comparison cases where other people have classified documents problems. And a recent example where the FBI covered up for Hillary, she had tons of documents on email servers in a closet. And they rewrote the law to not indict her. And she was not even a presidential person. She was running at the time, and they twisted themselves in a pretzel to not indict her. But in this case, they're doing the opposite. They're twisting themselves in a pretzel to take what is essentially a process crime. Trump had overdue library books down at Mar-a-Lago. Deborah Stidel Wall is now the most powerful person in the country. She gets to dictate whether or not a former president gets raided by the FBI. She says, those are my overdue library books. I want those back. And when Trump, who was the president of the country, the root source of power for the executive branch, when he makes a decision that many of us who live in a logical society would think would supersede her position, that's not taken into account. Instead, Trump can have meetings with FBI agents at Mar-a-Lago. He can have everything secured in a SCIF where there were no leaks up until the FBI came in, got the documents with their moles at Mar-a-Lago, taking back what they claim are classified materials and concocting a scheme to prosecute Trump that hits right in the middle of primary season, and that's going to carry into the full election cycle. And this case is being brought out of Florida, which is in fact good news for Trump. He's going to have, I would presume, more of a defense there than he would out of D.C. But this also means, my friends, that D.C. is coming soon too. I have no doubt in my mind. It's just a matter of time until it comes there as well. And then we'll fast forward and we'll have another indictment out of Georgia. That's going to make 4 of them. Georgia, New York, D.C., Florida, 2 of those in the federal court system. So amazing that Trump is here, something we've long suspected would happen. We were wondering how the Democrats would do this. Bang this drum, scream like hysterical lunatics for years and years in order to drop this. It was clear that this was going to come. And so Donald Trump is now confirming for us, for the first time in history, a weaponized Biden DOJ is prosecuting a former president. And this is going to cause problems. We have questions now. Are they going to hold him in custody? Are they going to go through the same process that we went through in New York? Is a judge going to require him to put an ankle monitor on, or require him to post bond, or hold him non-bondable, or put travel restrictions on him, or make him check in with a pretrial services division, or get drug tested and screened on a regular basis? All of these things they could do to a regular defendant. And they're trying to treat Trump as though he is a regular defendant. I think they're going to find out that he is not. Now, as this news spreads and we learn more about this, it is incredibly important for calm and clarity in this development, because the feds, the FBI, the DOJ, we've seen what kind of people are operating there. We've seen the so-called sedition hunters and all of these psychopaths on the left who will take any statement out of context, report it to the FBI, put you on a list, retweet you into oblivion, and ruin your lives. So it's very important that the reaction to this does not exacerbate problems for Trump and for the movement. And this will slow down, certainly. There will be a lot of time to unpack all of this. And I think as more people recognize what a scam prosecution this is, we'll start to see more uniformity, a more unified voice, and we'll see what the GOP does and how this shifts the country, because it is a major shift. Now, Donald Trump has not posted anything more. He's now on True Social, says they're not coming after me, they're coming after you. I'm just standing in their way.